and good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bob Elson greeting you now from Yankee Stadium in New York. And it's getting very threatening here weather-wise. It's darkened up and it's very cloudy. Looks like we could get rain at any time. But the official weather forecast is that this is going to be an on-again, off-again Finnegan sort of a rainy affair with a cloudy day and occasionally thunder showers. But it looks like the doubleheader will be played all right, even if it takes all day and all evening. Look around, and there's considerable cheering going along with it. Maybe I'll turn this mic and let you try to pick it up. The lineups have been called around to the people here in the stands. I'll repeat it now for all of our listeners on the network. For the White Sox, Fox will lead off and play second base, Kell at third base, Minoso in left field, Neiman in right field, Doby in center field, Dropo at first, Lawler the catcher, Aparicio at short, and Harshman will do the pitching. For New York, Bauer in right field, Martin at second base, Mantle in center field, Rivera the catcher, Skowron at first base, McDougald at shortstop, Serve in left field, Harry at third, and Ford will do the pitching. In the Detroit-Baltimore game, it's Gromek and Moore. In the Kansas City-Washington game, it's Heriage and Ramos. And each team scored 3 runs in the first inning in that Kansas City-Washington game. Simpson hit a 3-run home run. Hank Storr is going to be the umpire-in-chief. We're going to have a nice crowd here today, in spite of the fact that it's been threatening. And every time I tuned the radio on, and we got in here late last night from Washington and sat around late last night, listened to the radio for a couple of hours, and again this morning, every 15 or 20 minutes there was a bulletin. Rain, very probable, and cold and cloudy, and certainly not the kind of bulletins to put anybody in the ballpark. But in spite of that, we got a good crowd, and there are the Yankees going on the field. Now, the Yankees have really been hitting that long ball and have hit 22 home runs, and Mickey Mantle has 9. I noticed that Howard is playing left field in place of Serve. Elston Howard has gone into left field. Let's see, this is Sunday. The Yankees will be in Chicago a week from next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Elston Howard will be one of the guests on our 6 o'clock show. On Friday night, there's a night game. Howard will be our guest. That's the second game. And on the opening day of the Yankee series in Chicago, our guest will be one of the great pitchers in baseball, Whitey Ford. That's on Thursday night. Ford is pitching today against Harshman. Harshman has looked terrific. So has Ford. This should be some ball game. We're just hoping that here today the White Sox will break out with some hits. And that's the thing that's been holding them back. They've been getting good pitching. They just haven't been getting the hitting from the fellows that you would expect to hit. So here is another day. And we're all set to go. Harshman is 1-0 for the season, winning a 2-hit, 1-0 decision over Cleveland. In his second start, he went 7 innings against Baltimore, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs before Howell relieved him. The Sox lost that game 3-2, and of course he did not figure in its losing. Whitey Ford has a record of 3 wins and no losses. Won all 3 of his starts this year, beating Boston 7-1, Baltimore 4-2, and Detroit 9-2. He won 2 and lost 2 against our Sox in 1955, but he's had a tremendous lifetime advantage of 13-3. Here we go. Nellie Fox stepping into the batter's box, and this game is all set to roll. Fox stepping in, batting left-handed. Fox way below his normal pace, 140. Swing and a foul off to the left. Now checking the lineup again with the Sox batting. There's Carey over at third. At short, it's McDougald. At second, it's Billy Martin. And at first, it's Skowron. A swing and a miss at a high curve. In center field, it's Mickey Mantle. In left field, it's Howard. And in right field, it's Bauer. The game just getting underway at New York. The sun trying to pop through the low overhanging clouds here again at New York. And Nellie Fox up there trying to get something started in the first inning against Whitey Ford. The pitch to Fox, outside at the waist, a ball. This is a triple deck stand at New York that extends all the way down the foul lines and into left field, left center, and right center field. And there's an open-face bleacher all the way across the outfield. Strike three took a curveball that broke on the outside corner at the knee, and Fox is out on strikes. And that is the first strikeout of the ball game for Whitey Ford. Whitey Ford had 20 strikeouts going in. Well, that's his 21st. There is George Kell. Kell has been one of those consistent hitters. He has 9 hits in 22 tries for a 409 average. The first pitch to him, strike call. Slow ball off the corner and low, a ball, 1-1. Elston Howard run into left field in place of Bob Serve, who was up on the board as the left fielder, but there was some doubt about his. I believe he had some kind of an injury. Strike right over the plate. Now, Whitey Ford is the fellow who doesn't come equipped with 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 pitches. He's right down there with the fundamentals, a fastball, a curve, and a change of pace. And he says that's all he's got. But he also, for a left-hander, has unusually fine control. Swing and a ground ball, the shortstop to his left. Big hop, he's got the ball, throwing from right near the bag at second, and it's out, 2 away. We've sort of got to get adjusted to the fact that McDougald is now the shortstop for this ball club. We've always seen him either at third or at second. Here's Minoso. Minnie batting 278 with 10 hits and 36 tries. Had a home run and 2 other hits in the ball game yesterday at Washington. In the first pitch, a fastball that crowded him at close at the knees, a ball. Sutter's out again at New York. Whitey Ford against Harshman. 2 out in the first inning. The Yankees in white, the White Sox in traveling gray. Slow ball, beauty, right over the plate. Whitey Ford changes the speeds on his curveball, which of course gives him really, actually more pitches than 3. But that's what he says. Here's the pitch to Minoso. A swing and a fastball is hit hard down to the second baseman. Martin up with that ball, a peg to first, and he's out to retire the side. In that half of the first inning, it's 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. And the score, fans, at the end of the first half of the first inning, the White Sox nothing, and the New York Yankees are now coming to bed. Now let me place the White Sox for you. Minoso in left field, Larry Doby in center field, and Bob Neiman in right field. Gropo at first, Fox at second, Aparicio at short, Kell at third, the catcher Lawler, and the pitcher Jack Harshman. Here's Hank Bauer. Bauer's batting average is only 222. Ball, it's low, but Bauer has hit 5 homers and has 14 runs batted in. Swing and a very high fly ball deep in left center field. Doby or Minoso can get it. Minoso's ball, 1 away. Going to bring up Billy Martin. Martin playing second base, batting 175. In the runs batted in department, Martin has 6. He will be followed by Mickey Mantle, and you'll hear some burst of applause when he comes up. His average is 433 for Mickey Mantle. First pitch to Martin. A bunt attempt up the third baseline. Tough play for Kell. Throw to first. He's safe. Beat it out for a hit. There was a perfect bunt. The ideal bunt. He bunted the ball. It sprang away from the bat pretty hard and then didn't have any roll on it. Kell had to come a long way in, and there's the hand for Mickey Mantle. Mantle is batting right-handed. He has 23 runs batted in, has hit 9 home runs. That's the first hit of the ball game, a bunt single by Billy Martin. And here is Mickey Mantle, batting right-handed against Harshman. The first pitch to him, low, outside, ball 1. Harshman's screwball works very effectively on right-hand hitters. And the last time he pitched in that game at Baltimore, his fastball was really something to see. Strike right in around the knees, and that's the pitch I was talking about, that fastball. In close at the knee. The on-deck hitter is Yogi Berra. Billy Martin over on first base. The next pitch to Mantle, a swing and a base hit into center field. Billy Martin going to third. Here's the throw to second base, and the ball got away from Fox, and it looks like Martin's going to score. He is, and here's Mantle coming around. He holds up at third. That ball took a bad hop into second base, and it's going to be an error on the throw. We're waiting now for the official score, and a run is scored. The hit by Mantle, a ground ball between short and second, sent Martin to third. And when Mantle decided to try for second base and the throw came in from left center field, it bounced over the second baseman Fox's head and went between the plate and first base into foul territory. And before Gropo could recover the ball, a run has scored. And Mantle gets all the way to third. So that's an error for Doby on the throw. Mantle gets credit for a single, and an error for Doby on a throw into second base that bounced in a few feet from the bag and then took a high hop over Fox's head. The infield pulled in, and a strike called on Berra. So there is an odd happening here in the first inning. After 1 out, Martin singled. Mantle singled to left center field on the ground, with Martin going to third. Then Mantle decided to try to go to second base, and the throw into second hit the dirt and took a freak hop over Fox's head and went into foul. Here's a line drive to Gropo, and boy, there, that thing had base hit written all over it. There was a vicious line drive down the first baseline that Gropo reached up and stabbed near the foul line, and that saved a run. So here is Skowron coming up. Lou Skowron, a Chicago boy, stepping into the batter's box with a .317 average, bounces to short. Aparicio firing. He is out, and it retires the side. So that is the end of a first inning that started peacefully enough, and then things began to happen. Let's recap it. After one out, Bauer flying out deep to left center, Martin singled, and then Mickey Mantle slapped a base hit on the ground between short and third. It sent Martin racing around to third. Doby picked the ball up then. Mantle evidently figured he was going to throw to third, and he decided to try for second base. He threw the ball into second base. It hit at the edge of the outfield grass coming in and took a free hop, and the run scored. In the inning, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. The score at the end of the first inning. Now the official scorer has scored that as a double for Mantle, an error for Doby, and no run batted in. Score at the end of the first inning, the Yankees won, and the White Sox nothing. In the second inning, Neiman hit the first ball pitched and bounced down to Mcdougald, and Mcdougald just threw him out, and it's 1 away. Bob Neiman hit the first ball pitched on the ground to the shortstop Mcdougald, who threw him out. Here's Larry Doby, who's just about 185 points under his normal pace at around 143. Yankees are leading 1-0. And the first pitch to Larry, strike. It's right across the knee. The Yankees have a 1-run lead. Whitey Ford goes into the motion again, and Doby takes strike 2 in the same spot. Andy Terry, Gil Mcdougald, Billy Martin, and Skowron on the infield. 1 out in the second inning and 2 strikes on Larry Doby. And the windup again by Whitey Ford, and a fastball is low for a ball. 1-2 now for Doby. Walt Gropo is in the on-deck circle. Getting all set. Ford taking a little bit of extra time right now, looking down at the catcher. Here's the 1-2 count to Larry Doby, and it's way too low for a ball. Ball 2 and strike 2. Doby, a left-hand hitter, waiting for that next pitch. And a swing and a foul. It's off to the left, up against the railing. On the scoring play, on the throw-in from center field, it was just unfortunate there that Fox was taking the throw. Aparicio had run out into left center field in the event of a relay, and nobody was backing up second base. Gropo started to chase the ball when the ball had gotten away, and a swing and a tap on the ground. It's rolling foul. And the ball came over to the first base line between the mound and first base and rolled over the first base line into foul territory with Gropo chasing it. And Martin, of course, scored, and Mantle went all the way to third. He got credit for a 2-base hit from the official score, and they gave Doby an error on the throw. The ball, as I told you, took a very freak hop way over Fox's head. All right, it's a 2-2 count, 1-0 ball game, and the pitch to Doby, swing and a miss. Struck him out. That is the second strikeout of the game for Ford, and it's going to bring up the first baseman, Walt Gropo. Walt has had a rough time getting started. He's 3 for 24. Walt Gropo. Now the windup in the first pitch to him. A little bit too close, right at the waist. One thing about these kind of hitters, like Gropo, big, strong guys, you never can tell when they're going to bust one. I mean, they could come up and start hitting that ball any time and then really snap out of it. A ball right up under his chin, ball 2. A lot of activity. White Sox at New York with 2, Kansas City at Washington 2, Detroit at Baltimore 2, and Cleveland at Boston, the only single affair in the American League. Sun is out again. 2 out in the second inning, and Gropo takes ball 3, low and outside. Lawler is the on-deck hitter. White Sox have a better hitting club than last year when they did some good hitting. They're first in the American League right now in fielding, but down the line in hitting, strike calls. And one of the things that we all feel is responsible for the fact that they're not hitting is the fact that the schedule and the weather has really played havoc with them here in the first couple of weeks. Ball 3, strike 1 to Gropo. High foul back this way. In the stands, and a ball 3 and a strike 2 count. Pretty nice turnout today. Pretty nice crowd, and still coming in, as I told you, in spite of the weather bulletins, which figure to keep a lot of people away. We're going to have a real nice turnout and a lot of excitement. Ford has his glove off. He has it tucked under his left arm. Now he's fidgeting with his cap. He's getting set again. The outfield is playing Gropo straight away. The next pitch to Walter, a swing and a line hit in left field. Gropo just slapped a hard line drive over short into left field for a hit. And that is the first White Sox hit in the game. First hit off Ford. And it's going to bring up the catcher, Sherman Lawler. Lawler has 7 hits in 29 tries. Sherman Lawler, White Sox first-string catcher, up in there, and the pitch to him is off the corner at the knee, a ball. Howard is playing left field, Mantle in center field, and Bauer in right field. Looks like here's a quick throw to first base, and Gropo's picked off. A quick throw by Whitey Ford to first base, and Gropo was picked off. Whitey Ford, with a very good pickoff motion, started to swing around and suddenly fired that ball over to first base, and Gropo was a good 2 feet off the bag. Skowron had the ball, and it retires the side. So in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, and no one left. The score at the end of the first half of the second, the Yankees 1, and our White Sox, nothing. Now leading off for the Yankees, Gil Mcdougald. That's right-handed, and the first pitch from Harshman spiked in around the knee. McDougald's average, 1.90. He will be followed by Howard, 3.64. A swing and a line foul, and then by Carey, who's batting 2.08. Lights are going on all over the board. It looks like there's one postponement. Cleveland at Boston. Evidently a rain out there. Here's a swing and a high fly ball to right field in the corner. Neiman shouldn't have any trouble with this ball. He's there in plenty of time. 1 out. The Yankees are leading 1-0 on a single, a double, and a throwing error in the first inning. Here's Elston Howard. Elston Howard, who plays the outfield and also does a respectable job of catching. And the pitch to the right-hand hitter is outside at the knee, a ball. Howard batting 3.64. And they say that one of these days, And of course, all Yankee fans hope that that day never comes when Yogi Berra has to call it quits, that this guy will be the first string catcher. A ball, it's low. One out in the second inning. Kell, Aparicio, Fox, and Dropo on the infield. The outfield is Neiman, Doby, and Minoso, and the battery, Harshman and Lawler. And a swing foul ball back here to the right and out of play. Latecomers are still coming in at New York, and we're going to have a real nice crowd. Now remember, the Yankees will be at Chicago a week from next Thursday for an afternoon game, a night game on Friday, and an afternoon game on Saturday. And tickets for all of those games are on sale, as well as all the games on the homestand. Howard cuts on one and hits a pop fly right side of the infield. Fox back on the grass about 5 feet. He's got it. 2 out. Here's Andy Carey. Here's Andy Carey. That's right-handed, and the first pitch, a swing and a base hit into center field. There was a line single to center field. Here's Whitey Ford coming up. Andy Carey lined a sharp single. It went through the infield about waist high and shot right on out into center field. And that is recorded as hit number 3 for the Yankees in this ball game at Yankee Stadium. Here's Ford. Batting left-handed, real short on the bat handle, a ball that's low. The score, Yankees 1 and the White Sox nothing so far in this ball game, and a swing and a base hit in the center field. And here's Perry racing to third, and Doby throws the ball into second base. That puts Yankee runners on first and third after 2 outs. Going to bring up the right fielder, Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer, big fellow and a powerful-looking guy, but a fellow who seems to play better when he's not used over a long stretch of time. He's kind of a ball player that, I don't know, he use a little rest occasionally, a few days off, and then get him in there, and he just goes like to beat the band for a while. Ball, it's a little bit off the corner. Yankees have runners on first and third with 2 outs in the last of the second, and they have a 1-run lead. Harshman readies, drops a little low, a ball. The on-deck hitter is Billy Martin. Hardly any wind out here at all today. The American flag and the American League Championship flag on the pole in center field are just limp out there, so there's no wind. Here's the pitch to Bauer, a slow twister and a strike, and it's a 2-1 count. Hank Bauer, wearing a number 9 on the back of his white uniform. In the second game, it's going to be Rip Coleman, a left-hander, against Howie Collette, a left-hander. And the pitch to Hank Bauer is taken in close for ball 3. Hank Bauer. The outfield of Minoso, Doby, and Neiman, deep and straight away. Getting set again, the next pitch to him, ball 4. The bases are low. That is the first base on balls issued by Harshman, and it's going to bring up Billy Martin, who singled the first time out. have a bases-loaded situation at New York with 2 out. Jack Harshman ready to fire. And a swing and a very high fly ball that should be caught in left center field. Doby getting over. It's his ball. He's got it. And Harshman is out of that jam. Martin hit a high fly ball to left center field. That was caught by Larry Doby. And 3 men are left on the base. In the last of the second, there were no runs, 2 hits, a walk, and 3 men are left. And so, fans, at the end of 2 full innings of play, the score and the totals, the Yankees 1 run on 4 hits, no errors. The White Sox, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. Here's Sherman Lawler leading off, and he grounds the first pitch down to third base. Carey's got it, fires that ball over to first base, and it's 1 away. Lawler hit the first pitch from Whitey Ford to Carey. The third baseman went to his left, stabbed that ball in his glove, and threw him out. Here's little Louis Aparicio. Louis has been up 23 times and has had 3 hits. Third baseman playing very shallow for Louis. And the first pitch, he came in straight overarm with a fastball and got it in a little bit too low. The outfield is playing Louis real shallow. That's a swing and a hit to right field. Aparicio slaps a clean single into right field. That's hit number 2. It's going to bring up the pitcher, Jack Harshman. Here's Harshman stepping up to see if he can aid his own cause here. Jack's a good hitter. Ian Donovan, and also Billy Pierce. Pierce is a pretty good little hitter, too, but Donovan and this guy, if they get a hold of one, can really tag it. Aparicio singled after 1 out in the third. Harshman takes a ball that's low and almost a wild pitch. Barrow's going to the mound. Let's get in a station break. This is the WCFL Chicago White Sox Baseball Network. Yankees have a 1-run lead on the White Sox, who have a man on first with 1 out and the pitcher is up. Fox on deck. And a let-up pitch is just a little bit off the corner at the knee for another ball. Ball 2. Whitey Ford fires low outside. Ball 3. Look him over there, Jack. A walk is just as good as a hit. Nothing count for Harshman. Ford keeps an eye on little Lewis, who jumps around over there and finally dives back onto the bag as Ford threw the first. That's in there. Bullseye right down the middle. Harshman in the batter's box, the number 9 man, with little Louis on first base. And a swing and a liner to right that's going to be caught. Back on the path near the wall by Bauer. A well-tagged ball. But hit right on in the line was where the right fielder was standing, and he backed up on the track and caught that ball for the out. That was well hit. Here's Nelson Fox. Fox was a strikeout victim the first time up. Hit a home run in this ballpark last year into the right field seat. Whitey Ford readies. Ball low and outside. Ball 1. Skowron at first base. Billy Martin playing second. Gil Mcdougald at shortstop. And the third baseman, Andy Carey. swing and a base hit into left field for Fox. Fox singles into left field, and Aparicio moves to second. Here's Kell. That's one of Fox's favorite spots into left field, and that may begin to feel that he's beginning to get the feel of it because he hasn't been hitting anything over there, and that's one of those specialties, his slice into left field. That's hit number 3 off Whitey Ford. Here's George Kell, who grounded out the first time up. Runners at first and at second. And a ground foul. Hit very hard down the third baseline. In the American League, it's Baltimore 1 and Detroit nothing at the end of 2, and Washington 4 and Kansas City 3 at the end of 4, and the Cleveland-Boston game is off. Kell steps away from the plate. Now he's up in there again. Whitey Ford getting a sign. Slow ball and a liner, but it's foul. Past third. Boy, that ball was hit. There was a real vicious line drive down the third base line, and it hit about 2 feet past outside the line, past third base. Just a single, just a base hit here to send Lewis in with the tying run. Aparicio out on second base. Nellie Fox on first base. Pitcher Ford getting ready. He's got a 2-strike count on him, and that one clouded the batter right at the knee for a ball. Makes it 1-2. The Yankees have 1 run on 4 hits. The White Sox no runs on 3 hits. Whitey Ford pitching to Kell. Slow ball. And a high fly ball into right field. It's going to be caught. Bauer's under that ball, and he's got it for the out. Whitey Ford threw a slow ball, and Kell hit it foul, or hit it for a fly ball close to the foul line in right field, and it was pulled down by Bauer for the out. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. So, fans, at the end of the first half of the third inning here at Yankee Stadium, it's still the New York Yankees 1 and the White Sox nothing. The first 3 batters for the Yankees in the last of the third: Mantle, Berra, and Skouras. Here's Mickey Mantle, who got himself a hit the first time up, and the pitch is low for a ball. Ball 1. Switch hitter Mickey Mantle batting right-handed against left-hander Harshman, and a swing and a foul back up on the screen. 1-1. Sun trying to come out here again. First game is in the last of the third inning. Harshman getting a sign. He's ready. And a swing and a ground ball off the pitcher's glove. A hard smash goes into center field, and Mantle has another hit. Everything he hits these days drops in safely, and he's on one of those kind of hitting jags. When a fella gets on one of those, just like Lemon over at Washington, who hits doubles and home runs almost every time up, it's hard to stop. So that's a base hit in the center field for Mantle, and it's hit number 5 off Harshman, and it's going to bring up Yogi Berra, who lined to Dropo the first time up. First pitch to him, sidearm, outside, a ball. Ball 1. Mickey Mantle on first base. And a beauty right in across the knees. Strike. outfield is swung to the right for Yogi Berra, who loves to pull that ball. That's a pitch that's a little bit too low, and a ball 2 and a strike 1 count. Yogi wearing number 8. Going into this ball game, Mantle was batting .381 left-handed and .556 right-handed. Here's a swing and a long fly ball way back in right field. It's gone. A home run into the right field stand. Just hit his 8th home run of the year into the stands at about the 355-foot mark in right field. And he gets, of course, 2 runs batted in, and it gives him 22 for the year. Makes the score of this ball game 3-0. Here's Skowron. A swing and a line drive into the right field corner. He's trying for second base. Here's a throw by Neiman, and he slides in with a double. There was a hard line drive right down the foul line. It hit there on the curve of the wall in the right field corner, but bounced well to Neiman. Neiman fired that ball in, but Skowron had slid into second base with a double. That's hit number 7. Going to bring up Gil Mcdougald. Here's Mcdougald, who flied out to right field the first time up. Here comes the pitch to him, and a swing and a miss. 1 strike. Single by Mantle, a homer by Berra, and a double by Skowron. And the Yankees have increased their lead now to 3-0. Swing and a long fly ball down the left field line. Fair or foul? It's a foul ball. It would have been a home run. It's way up in the seats. There was a long shot right down the left field line. Went way into the stands, and the umpire at third ran down the line to watch that ball and waved it was foul. Now there are 2 strikes on Mcdougald, and a ball that's flowing outside. 1-2. Moose Skowron out on second base. Nobody out. Pitcher taking plenty of time. Harshman. 2 pitchers are throwing in the bullpen for the White Sox. That pitch is a little bit low for a ball. Ball 2. 2 pitchers are throwing in the bullpen for the White Sox. That pitch is a little bit low for a ball. Ball 2. The New York Yankees just got their 27th home run of the year. Here's a swing and a fly ball into right field. Neiman's going to get this ball. Here's the touch-up at second. Here is Skowron now racing to third, and he is safe at third. It was a relay play from Neiman to Fox to Kell. So Mcdougald flied out to Neiman, fairly deep in right field. And And here is the left fielder, Elston Howard. Now the infield of Kell, Aparicio, Fox, and Grofo is pulled in close. Harshman getting ready. And the first pitch to Howard, a swing and a ground ball to the pitcher. Take the runner back to third and threw Howard out, and there are 2 gone. He turned and pretended he was going to throw to third to drive Skowron back, and then quickly whirled and fired the first base to retire the batter. That's going to bring up Carey with a base runner at third and 2 out and 2 runs in the last half of the third inning. Yankees 3 runs. They're going to give him an intentional pass. The Yankees with 3 runs on 7 hits, and the White Sox no runs on 3 hits. Ball 2. Ball 3. Here's ball 4. Intentional pass. Going to bring up Whitey Ford, who singled the first time. Here's Whitey Ford. Stepping into the batter's box, bats left-handed. He hit a slow curve the first time for a hit. Just lined it into right center field. Swing and a foul. It's in the upper deck, out of play. Kell has called time and gone over to the mound to talk with Harshman. Whitey Ford is standing alongside the plate with that number 16 in the back of his uniform. A very youngish-looking fellow is Mr. Ford, by the way. Next pitch to him, strike call right across the way. Whitey looks like he's a college freshman. Runners at first and third. And Harshman ready to fire again, and that was an outside, a waste pitch, trying to get him to swing at a bad one. And it's a ball 1 and a strike 2 count. The sun is shining now at New York. Ball 1 and a strike 2 count for Whitey Ford. Next pitch to him, a swing and a pop-up into short center field that Fox is running out for and grabs for the out. So Whitey Ford popped out to Nelson Fox, and it retires the side with 7 men batting in the inning and the first 3 men getting hit. And in that inning, it's 2 runs on 3 hits, a base on balls, and there were 2 men left on the base. The fans, were now at the end of 3 full innings of play at Yankee Stadium in New York with the score of the ball game. The Yankees 3 and White Sox nothing. For the White Sox, Manoso hits a slow ball that drops into short center field for a base hit. Manoso dropped a base hit into short center field with Mantle coming in fast and the second baseman Billy Martin charging out. But that was really well placed and drops in there with nobody close to it. Here is the right fielder, Bob Neiman. Here's Bob Neiman stepping in. Also on first base, and a bunt attempt and a miss. That time he saw that Terry was back, and actually Neiman is a power type hitter, and they inclined to think of him cutting at that ball, so he saw a chance to drop one down, but he missed the ball for a strike. Also over on first base, and a ball. It's in very low and in close. 1-1. Doubleheader at New York today. The White Sox and the Yankees. Stocky Bob Neiman, a right-hand hitter, is up in there, and Ford is taking a little bit of extra time to move the left fielder Howard a bit away from the foul line and over more toward left center field. That's a ball. It's low. Ball 2. Yogi Berra walks out in front of the plate, yells something at Ford, and then flips him the ball. One man on and nobody out in the 4th inning. The on-deck hitter is Larry Doby, and a tapped foul. He rolled that ball on the ground to the left of the plate, and Yogi takes the new ball from the umpire, and he's walking to the mound with it. He's standing right in the pitcher's circle now with Ford. Now he's turning around, and he's walking back in. Yogi Berra. You'll be a legend around here someday. Ball 2 and a strike 2 count. And the pitch to Neiman. A swing and a grass smash at the mound. He's got it. Back to second base, out, over to first, out, and a double play. There was a hard smash at the mound. The same kind of a smash that was hit before, and Harshman got through there. And that's just the way the breaks go. When you're not hitting, well, they go against you. When you are hitting, they go for you. And that's baseball. That's the way. That ball was hit viciously and looked like it was going right through the box. Ford got in front of that ball, got a hold of it, and turned it into a double play. The play going from the pitcher to Martin to first. Here's Larry Doby, 0 for 1. Doby swings and fouls the ball back on the wire. When that ball was hit, I thought sure it was going right through the box in the center field. Ford somehow got in front of that ball and turned it into a double play. Strike right down the middle. Strikes for Doby. This is the top half of the 4th inning. Whitey Ford readies again. And a ball just off the corner at the knee. The Yankees thought that was strike 3, and the infield started to move toward the dugout. The outfield is playing Larry Doby around to the right. That's a ball, again, just off the corner. Ball 2 and strike 2. Wind up again by Whitey Ford. A slow ball is grounded out to center field. Larry Doby slaps a base hit right through the box. That's hit number 5. Well, if it hadn't been for that terrific stop that Ford made of Neiman's hot smash, they would have had an inning really going here. Here's Walt Ropo, single to left field the first time up. Walt Ropo stepping in. First pitch to Walter is slow twister, a little bit high, ball 1. Little Whitey Ford. Keeping an eye on Larry Doby at first base. Ropo takes in there, spike around the knees. Mantle in center field, flanked by Howard in left and Bauer in right. Skowron, Martin, McDougald, and Carey on the infield. Dropo takes a slow ball. It's a little bit too close. Ball 2. Walt Dropo, number 8 on his gray uniform. Facing Whitey Ford. With Larry Doby over on first base. Next pitch to Dropo. A ball a little bit low inside. The ball rolled away from Yogi about 2 or 3 feet. But Doby plays it safe. A count of 3-1. There's no use committing suicide here. You might have just as well try to keep the inning alive. Lawler is in the on-deck circle. Ball 3 on a strike 1 count. And a ball, he walked in. Here's Sherman Lawler coming up. Lawler bounced out to Carey the first time up. Lawler could put the White Sox right back in this ball game to get a hold of one here. Sherman Lawler stepping into the batter's box. Larry Doby at second base, Walt Dropo at first base, and 2 away. The first pitch is a low fastball that was right in the dirt. Ball 1. The White Sox play at Boston Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Detroit. Then come back to the friendly confines of Comiskey Park on Tuesday for a long home stay. Throw back to second base. Billy Martin handling the ball, and Doby going back in feet first. Not too close because the throw was high and Doby was sprawled on the ground. Pitch to Lawler, a swing and a miss. Lawler was really cutting that time, but he missed that curveball. And it's a ball 1 and a strike 1 count for Sherman. Sherman Lawler. In the extra base hit department, let's see. He has won so far this year a double. Larry Doby on second, Dropo on first. And the next pitch to him, a slow ball that comes in a little bit too low for a ball. 2-1. Ball 2 and strike 1. We're in the 4th inning, fans, at New York. First game of today's Big Twin Bill. Again, Whitey Ford gets set. Here's a swing and a long foul. He got that inside pitch that time and overpulled it way down the left field line, but foul. And it's a ball 2 and a strike 2 count now as Yogi Berra walks out to caution Ford, say something to him, and then to flip him the ball. Ball 2 and strike 2. With 2 away in the top half of the 4th inning. Ford leaning forward, peering down at Yogi Berra as though he can't understand the signal, and finally Lawler steps out. All right, here's the big one. Ball 2 and strike 2, and a tap on the ground towards short. It's picked up by McDougald and thrown to the second baseman, and it retires the side. Lawler grounded the ball right to the shortstop, Gil Mcdougald, who flipped that ball to the second baseman, and it retires the side. Force play. Dropo is forced out at second. In the inning, no runs, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 left. The end of the first half of the 4th inning. At New York, it's the Yankees 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The White Sox, no runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. For change, Rivera has gone into right field now for the White Sox. Doby in center field, Minoso in left field. Here's Hank Bauer, been up twice, flied to left field and walked. Harshman getting ready. The first pitch to Hank Bauer is a little bit too high and outside at the shoulder. This is the last of the fourth inning. Here comes the next pitch, and a swing and a long drive. It's going, gone. A home run into left field. Hit his sixth home run. That's his sixth home run of the year, and his 15th run batted in. And it looks like Harshman is going to be taken out. For the Yankees, that is their 28th home run of the season. When Yogi Berra hit that homer into right center field, and I told you went over at about the 357-foot mark, Neiman jumped up on the fence at the point where there's a metal gate there, and it looks like he had a cut. He cut himself on the right hip, required a couple of stitches, and that's the reason why he has gone out of the lineup, and Rivera has gone into right field. Keegan. Here is Bob Keegan coming in. Harshman gave up 4 runs and 8 hits during his tenure. And let's see, he was tagged for 2 homers, one by Berra and one by Bauer, and a pair of doubles, one by Mantle and one by Skowron. He also gave up 2 bases on balls, but one of those was intentional. So Harshman is going out. Making his first appearance of the year is Bob Keegan, who last year, with a number of physical ailments, followed a very successful year the year before in 54 by not appearing too much. He appeared in 18 ball games, and he won 2 games and lost 3. Keegan is a big right-hander who stands 6 feet tall and weighs 180 pounds. He's getting in his practice throws right now. Billy Martin is standing alongside the plate. Keegan stands rather 6'2" and weighs 207. He hails from Rochester, New York, where he was born in 1922. He's wearing number 15 on the back of his gray uniform, and he's come on the scene at this point in the ball game, the last of the 4th inning, with a run in to replace Harshman. Here's Billy Martin, 1 for 2. A single in the first inning and a ball. It's low inside. He almost hit him, and down he went. The pitch to Billy Martin is a high curve that hung too high and a ball. 2-0 now. Fourth inning of the first game of today's twin bill. That's a ball that's low and outside. 3-0 for Martin. The on-deck hitter is Mickey Mantle. The next pitch to Martin. Ball. He almost hit him. Ball 4. Let's get in a station break here. This is the WCFL Chicago White Sox Baseball Network. Here's Mickey Mantle and a ball that's high outside. Ball one. In the batter's box, he's left-handed against the right-hander. The first pitch of ball. There's one right down the middle for a strike. Statistic-wise, there's no telling which way this guy is the most fearsome, left-handed or right-handed. He's really been whacking that ball both ways. And a swing and a very high fly ball into left field. Man, is that high. Minoso is still waiting, and he finally grabs that ball for the out. Boy, he hit that ball really high into left field. The Yankees have really been on a home run jag here. They've hit at least one home run in every game that they played in Yankee Stadium. Yogi Berra is walking up. He popped out the first time, but the second time hit that ball into the stands in right field. And Neiman, going up into the air, jumping up on that wall to try to catch it, came down in the gate and cut his side, or his hip, and had to have a couple of stitches taken in it. Ball it slow. This is Yogi Berra. Yogi standing up in there, relaxed, with about the most closed stance in the big league. His feet are right tight together. Billy Martin on first base, and one out, a run in. Keegan getting ready. And a strike right across the way. Berra keeps his feet close together, no widespread stance, and then as the ball comes in, he moves that right foot up. Bob Keegan, his first appearance of the season. Leave Jack Harshman, and a quick throw to first base. Martin back in time. Yogi waving that stick around. That's a fastball that crowded him at the knees for a ball. Make it 2-1. The on-deck hitter is Skowron. The outfield is playing the Yogi man, as you would expect, way around to the right. Quick throw to first. Martin back in time. Here's a swing and a line drive to Fox and a double play. There was a bullet-like drive into right field. That's the second time that he's lined that ball viciously toward right. Fox grabbed one, Gropo grabbed one, and this time Martin was double off first base. Double play. In the inning, one run, one hit, and nobody left. Well, we need some runs in this ball game. The score at the end of 4. The Yankees 4 runs on 8 hits. The White Sox no run on 5 hits. There's Aparicio coming up to lead off. Aparicio stepping into the batter's box. Single the first time up. Strike call. First break we get here, I'll give you the rundown on the scores. Whitey Ford ready again, and a swing and a hit past third. Hit that ball hard that time on the ground. He's going to try for two. Look at the little guy barrel, and he's up to second base standing up. A double by Luis Aparicio. Going to bring up the pitcher, Keegan. Aparicio gets hit number 6 of 4. Keegan has just started to come out of the dugout, so I'll give you the scores quickly. Baltimore 2 and Detroit nothing at the end of 4. Kansas City 7 and Washington 4 at the end of 6. The Cardinals 2 and the Giants 1 at the end of 1. Cincinnati 2 and the Phillies nothing at the end of 2. Pittsburgh nothing and the Cubs nothing at the end of 2. Brooklyn and Milwaukee, Cleveland and Boston rain out. Strike to Keegan across the knee. Keegan, a right-hand hitter in the batter's box with Louis on second, and a ball in too close at the weight. Whitey, Ford, and Harshman, the starters in this ball game. Here's a swing and a foul coming back here in the upper deck. Keegan will be followed by Nelson Fox. The outfield is playing shallow with the pitcher Keegan up. Whitey Ford readies again. That's too low a ball. I can remember when this guy was a pretty good hitter. Seated right behind us here in the press box, A.G. Atwater of Chicago. Also a well-known attorney from Chicago, an old friend, Dodd Healy. Ball 2 and strike 2. That's a tap foul. It's rolling on the ground to the left of the plate. Luis Aparicio slapped the ball to start the 5th inning between the third baseman Carey and the bag, and it shot right down that foul line, and the little guy is parked out on second base. That's his second hit. Here's a swing and a foul right in front of it. On the wire. And a ball 2 and a strike 2 count for Keegan. 5th inning of the first game of today's twin bill. Whitey Ford massaging a new baseball that the plate umpire, Hank Storer, threw out to him. Keegan swings and pops one up off here to the right. Here's Yogi Berra coming over. And he's got that ball for the out. Yogi Berra ran over to the stands to the right to grab that foul. Here's Fox. Nelson Fox. Fox struck out the first time, and the second time lined a clean hit into left field. Whitey Ford gets ready. Luis Aparicio on second. And a bunt attempt and a foul ball on the ground to the left. Fox tried a running bunt. He tried to dump that ball up the third baseline, but it went foul all the way. Ford again roughs the new ball around in his hands. Now he's ready to fire. Fox swings and hits a fly ball short to left center that Mantle's going to get and has for the out. Aparicio holds at second. Here's Kell. George Kell stepping up. Kell is 0 for 2. Bounced out and flied out to right. Kell stepping in. Kel was up with 2 on in the 3rd inning and made the 3rd out. Now he's up here in the 5th inning with Aparicio on 2nd and 2 out. George Kell. The pitch to George is a ball. Low and outside, ball 1. Yankees have made 8 hits. The White Sox have made 6 hits, but 2 of their hits have been homers. They're 27th and 28th of the campaign. The pitch to Cal, a slow twister right over the heart of the plate. 1-1. Ball 1 and strike 1 for Cal. The outfield is playing Cal right straight away. Next pitch to him, a swing on a fastball and a foul to hit Yogi on the foot. Bounds back all the way to the screen. And it's a ball 1 and a strike 2 count for Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra limping around a little bit down there. That really stings. Now Kell is getting up in there again. Kell is batting in the 2 spot today with Fox leading off. Ball 1 and a strike 2 count for Kell. The Yankees are leading 4-0. Next pitch to him, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Curveball right across the knee. In that inning, the top half of the 5th, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on the base. So, fans, at the end of the first half of the 5th inning of this ball game, Bob Elson describing the games from Yankee Stadium in New York. It's still the New York Yankees 4 and our White Sox nothing. Up to lead off and to face Keegan in the last half of the 5th inning will be Skowron, then McDougald, and then Elston Howard. Skowron's been up twice. He has 1 hit, strike around the knees. He doubled in the 3rd. Moose Skowron, number 14. First baseman. There's a curve, and he hits that ball toward right field. Rivera's going to get it right around the knees. Rivera came charging in that time to grab that soft fly ball toward right field. It wasn't hit deep, and he had to hustle in to grab it for the out. Here's Gil Mcdougald. He slid twice to right. Wind up on the first pitch to him. Ball it's low. Right-hand hitter in the batter's box, Gil Mcdougald. .317 hitter going in. Skowron made the first out. McDougald is playing shortstop this year. At least right now, today he is. In case he keeps moving these guys around so much, there's a ball that's low and outside. And he's got the tools to do it. He's got just enough ball players so he can really move them around and platoon the whole outfit. 2-0 for Gil Mcdougald. Next pitch to him, a perfect strike right over the plate. Ball 2 and strike 1. Noso in left, Doby in center, Rivera in right, Cal Aparicio, Fox and Dropo on the infield. Ball, a little bit low, 3-1. Ball 3 and strike 1. Here's the pitch to him. A swing and a ground ball right at Fox. Up with the ball on a short hop to Peg. He's out. That's 2 away. Here's the left fielder, Elston Howard. Howard has been up twice. In the second inning, he popped out to Fox. And in the third inning, he grounded out to the mound. Here's the fellow with the widest red stance in the big league. There's a liner toward right field. Rivera chasing over, can't get it. Fell down. It bounces into the stands for a ground rule double. Howard slapped a line drive down the right field foul line. Rivera fell down going for it. It wouldn't have made any difference. He couldn't have gotten to that ball, and it bounced into the stands for a double. So that is the first hit given up by Keegan, and it's the 9th hit for the Yankees. Here's Andy Carey. A line drive into the right field corner by Elston Howard. Strike gets perfect right down the middle. Keegan walks back and gets the rosin bag and dries his hands. Bob Keegan making his first appearance of the year. Here's a twister that stays up a little bit too high for a ball. And a ball one and a strike one count for Andy Carey. Carey with a .208 batting average going into the ball game, singled in the second, and was given an intentional pass in the third. Corner by Elston Howard. Strike gets perfect right down the middle. Keegan walks back and gets the rosin bag and dries his hands. Bob Keegan making his first appearance of the year. Here's a twister that stays up a little bit too high for a ball. And a ball one and a strike one count for Andy Carey. Carey with a .208 batting average going into the ball game, singled in the second, and was given an intentional pass in the third. Again, Keegan fires. Fastball and a swing and a miss. That time the ball was by him before he knew it. Keegan walks off the pitching rubber and again goes to the rosin bag to dry his hands. We're in the last half of the fifth inning with the Yankees ahead 4-0. And the next pitch, swing and a long foul. It's out of play. Long foul way down into the right field corner. Now Keegan roughs a new baseball around in his hands for a moment, gets ready. Here comes the next pitch. A curveball is hit fairly deep to center field. Doby's going to get it back a few feet. He's got that ball to retire the side. And Elston Howard has been left on the bases. No runs, one hit, one left. In 5 innings, the Yankees have stranded 4, 5, 6, 7 men. The White Sox have stranded 5. And the totals at the end of 5 innings of play, the Yankees 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The White Sox no runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Manoso will lead off in the 6th, followed by Rivera, and then by Larry Doby. Whitey Ford gave up a hit in the second inning to Dropo. Strike call to Fox and to Aparicio in the third, to Minoso and Doby in the fourth, and a double by Aparicio in the fifth. Strike one, and a ball off the corner at the knee, 1-1. Minnie has 1 for 2. Next pitch to Minoso, a swing and a ground ball right at the shortstop. McDougald has it, fires to first, and he's out. 1 away. Here's the right fielder, Jim Rivera. Jim Rivera, coming up for the first time today, has a 370 batting average with 10 hits in 27 at-bats. The first pitch to him, the slow ball is topped to the right of the plate. 1 strike. Jim Rivera, playing right field, up for his first time today. And the next pitch to him, curve right across the knee. Strike 2. Whitey Ford goes into the motion. That's a fastball. Strike 3. Struck him out. Going to bring up the center fielder, Larry Doby, who has 1 for 2. Here's Larry Doby. Wind up in the first pitch to Larry. Ball, it's in the dirt. Doby struck out in the second inning and singled to center field in the fourth inning. That's a tap on the ground that's going to be foul on the first base line. Skowron goes over and gloves the ball. 1-1. Sixth inning of the first game of today's twin bill. The Yankees have a 4-run lead, and the next pitch to Doby. Fastball dropped just a little bit too low. Yogi didn't like that call. He's complaining to the plate umpire, sore about it. And a ball 2 and a strike 1 count for Larry Doby. Ford leans forward. Doby gets tired of waiting and steps out of the batter's box, so things are held up here momentarily. Now the wind-up again, and the next pitch to him, a wild one, way over Doby's head that Yogi couldn't get. It goes back up on the screen here, and it's a ball 3 and a strike 1 count. The on-deck hitter is Dropo. Wind up in the next pitch. A swing and a ground ball to second baseman Martin's left. He's got it. Pegged to first, and he's out. Retiring the side. So Whitey Ford knocked down Minoso, Rivera, and Doby in order in the top half of the sixth inning. And the score, fans, at the end of the first half of the sixth is still the New York Yankees 4 and the White Sox nothing. Whitey Ford is going to lead off in the last of the sixth. In the American League, Baltimore 5 and Detroit 2 at the end of 5. Kansas City 7 and Washington 4 at the end of 7. In the National League, Pittsburgh 1 and the Cubs nothing at the end of 3. Cincinnati 2 and the Phillies nothing at the end of 2. And the Cardinals 2 and the Giants 1 at the end of 2. Here's Whitey Ford, 1 for 2. And Ford, with intentions of bunting that ball, pushed at it, and then almost fell over because the pitch was in a little bit too close, but the ump says that's a strike. Ford nods his head and steps back up in there again. Here's a low outside curve, and it's 1-1. Last of the 6th. First game of the twin bills. Ford taps one easily toward Fox, up on the ball. Peg to first, he's out. 1 away. Let's get in a station break right here. Here's Hank Bauer. Flied to left field, walked and hit a home run. The pitch to Bauer, right over the plate. Strike 1. Hank Bauer. Big right-hander up in there. Curveball. It's low and outside. I believe that Noren is on the disabled list. Getting all set again, and the next pitch to him, a curveball. He pops into short left center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. And Aparicio grabs that ball off the bounce and whirls and fires it in there. And Bauer has a single. That comes with 1 out in the 6th inning. It's the 10th hit for New York and the 2nd hit off Keegan. Let's see, among outfielders, they have Howard, serve. Bauer, Collins plays first and the outfield. Yeah, they don't have him listed. I believe he's on the disabled list for 30 days. Here's Billy Martin. Here's a pickoff. They throw to first. He's trying for second. He's tagged by Fox. Hank Bauer was caught off first base on Keegan's snap throw to drop ball. He was off the bag about 3 feet, so we decided to try for second rather than run into the ball at first, and he was nailed. Keegan to drop ball to Fox, who tagged him about 4 feet from second base, high up on the shoulder as he rushed by. 2 out. Now the pitch to Billy Martin, low a ball. 2 out in the last of the 6th inning. The Yankees are leading in this ball game 4-0. Second game pitchers will be Coleman and Follett. And a little bit too low to Billy Martin. Ball 2. Second baseman Billy Martin. 175 batting average going in with 6 RBIs. Has a hit and a walk. The pitch tapped through the box. It's a hit to center field. He tapped that ball right through the box. And it's a base hit to center field. Hit number 11. Hit number 3 off Keegan. And here is Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle has a double and a single in 3 tries. Mantle has now been up 63 times this year and has made 29 hits. 3 of those have been doubles, 1 triple, and 9 homers. The first pitch to him, a swing and a miss at a half-speed curve. And Mantle took a vicious swing, and you heard that oohs and ahs from the crowd. Getting all set again. And the next pitch, a high fastball for a ball 1 and a strike 1 count to Mantle. The Sox are going to stay in New York tonight. Manager Marion has called for a workout here in Yankee Stadium tomorrow afternoon. And then the team will take a 3 o'clock train from New York to Boston. They have an afternoon game Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday. Ball 1 and strike 1. And a swing and a high foul. It's coming back here and going out of play. Now ball 1 and a strike 2 count. Mickey Mantle steps away from the plate, gets a little bit of dirt on his hands, and then steps up in there again. We had the fellow who discovered Mantle as a guest on our dugout show from Kansas City, Tom Greenwade. Ball 1 and a strike 2 count on Mickey with 2 out and a man on first. In the last of the 6th inning in a 4-0 ball game in the first game of the Twin Bills. Fastball, a little bit too close for a ball. 2-2. Bob Keegan came on the scene for the first time this year in the 4th inning. Seems to have his fastball moving in there pretty good and a good curveball. He's looked all right. Keegan was quite a pitcher in 54. It would sure help if he'd come around again. There's a fastball, and he struck him out. He threw him a fastball at the letters, and Mantle struck out. In the inning, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on the base. So fans, at the end of 6 full innings of play in this ball game, it's the Yankees 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The White Sox, no runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. In the National League, Cincinnati leads the Phillies 7-0. They scored 5 runs in the second and lead 7-0 at the end of 3. Pittsburgh 1 and the Cubs nothing at the end of 4. Baltimore 6 and Detroit 2 at the end of 6. Kansas City 7 and Washington 4 at the end of 7. Here's Dropo. Walt Dropo has a hit and a walk in 2 tries and a tap foul on the ground. Nobody on and nobody out. It's the 7th inning. And a very goodly number of fans stood up here. The tap to the pitcher. Dropo bounces one back to Ford, who throws him out. 1 away. A lot of Chicago partisans there today because a lot of people stood up in the top of the 7th. Here's Lawler, 0 for 2. Shermlauer grounded out to third in the 3rd inning, hit into a force play for the last out in the 4th inning. The pitch to Lawler is swung on and line to Carey, drops the ball, picks it up too late. Safe at first. It'll be an error for Carey. Now they're wholly having a discussion. Yep, there goes the error sign at Yankee Stadium. An error for Andy Carey, and I don't see how they could call it anything else, even though it was hit hard. It was hit right at him, letter high, and he had the ball in his glove and dropped it, picked it up, had plenty of time, then dropped it again, and it rolled into foul territory, and that was it. Here's Luis Aparicio. Strike call. Louis has a single and a double. Luis Aparicio in the batter's box. Little Louis has come up with 2 hits and 2 tries. And a ball curved in close to the knee. Almost nicked him, and it's 1-1. This is the 7th inning of the first game at Yankee Stadium. And Lewis hits one foul on the ground. It's rolling over and into the White Sox dugout. Yogi massaging a new baseball and walks out toward the mound. Baseball at Yankee Stadium and a goodly crowd today. spite of all kinds of scaring weather forecasts, we've got a good turnout, and the weather has turned out quite pleasant. A few White Sox hits here and runs would make it even more pleasant. Here's a ground ball to short. Looks like a twin killing. The second out over the first. He's out. A double play. Gil Mcdougald turned Aparicio's hot smash, which was toward the bag at second. Perfect spot to start the double play. He flipped the ball to Martin. Martin fired it to Skowron, and it's a double play to retire the side. In the inning, the top of the seventh, no runs, no hits, an error, a race and a twin killing, and no one left on the base. And the score, fans, at the end of the first half of the seventh at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees 4 runs on 11 hits, White Sox no runs on 6 hits. Rivera, Skowron, and Mcdougald coming up in that order in the last half of the seventh inning. Here's the Yogi man, and a foul fly going out of play to the left. Now a new baseball is tossed in, and Lawler walks out. Jim Lemon of Washington just hit another home run for the Senators, and boy, he has been really hot. That's one of those streaks I was talking about. He's just trying to get that fella out. Pitch to Yogi. Swing and a hard smash. Box grabs. Nice stop. Throw to first. He's out. The third ball today, hit like a bullet toward right field. That has been taken away from Yogi Berra. 2 liners, and that one that had hit written all over it, Fox made a terrific stop to his left and threw him out. Here's the big moose, Skowron. Bob Keegan ready. And a slow ball is fouled back up here on the screen. 1 strike. This is the last of the seventh of the first game of the twin bill. Between games, we're going to return you to our studios in Chicago for about 17 minutes. Music and all the scores, the rundown and all the other games. Here's the next pitch to Skowron, a push bunt up the first baseline. Tough play. Pitcher hooks the ball to first, and it's saved. Here's an argument at first base. Keegan made a terrific play on that ball. Keegan racing over to the line, reached down, didn't hold the ball, flipped it while running to Gropo, and a big argument over there between Fox and Gropo and Keegan and the first base umpire. It scored, of course, as a hit for Skowron. That's hit number 12, and the first hit, or the fourth hit, rather, of Keegan, and the second hit of the game for Skowron. Man, that was surely a close play. Bob Keegan really handled himself, got off that mound and raced over on a terrific bunt. While at full speed, leaned down about 4 or 5 feet from the bag, flipped that ball into the hands of Gropo, and on a very, very tight one, the hitter was called safe. So it's a hit number 12, and it's going to bring up the shortstop, Gil Mcdougald. Flied to right twice and grounded to Fox. Now Keegan, who was hot about that, cooled off a bit, and he's getting set. Throws to first base, back in time. One man on and one out in the last of the seventh. The next pitch, a curveball, is bounced towards short. Have to hurry to get a double play. Out of second over to first. Just missed. Just missed a double play. It went from Aparicio to Fox to Gropo and missed by a fraction of a stride at first base on getting the twin killing. That's a force out. At second, Aparicio to Fox. It leaves McDougald at first base with 2 out and brings up the left fielder, Elston Howard. 1 for 3. Here's Howard. Stepping into the batter's box in the first pitch. Swinging a ground ball right at Louis. Fumbles, recovers, got to play at second. Force out on McDougald. Got it there in time to get the force out and to retire the side. In the inning, the last of the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. And at the end of 7 full innings of play in the first game of the Twin Bill, it's still the New York Yankees 4 and the White Sox nothing. We're moving into the top of the 8th inning, and George Kell is going to lead off. Hold up on that. Bubba Phillips is going to lead off. We're going to get a pinch hitter. He'll be followed by Fox and then Kell. And here's the first pitch now to Bubba Phillips, and it's a spike in around the knee. Phillips is batting .286. And the next pitch, a strike gets called right across the knee. Whitey Ford. Ready to pitch again. Phillips taps one foul along the third base line. Ford is 3-0. He is trying for his 4th win of this young season, which would make him one of the winningest pitchers in the big leagues right at this point. Now the wind-up in the next pitch. Here's the swing and a high foul fly out of play. The Sox play Tuesday afternoon at Boston, and Pierce is expected to pitch that ball game against Porterfield. The Sox are expecting to see Porterfield, Sullivan, and Brewer, 3 tough cookies over there at Beantown. Next pitch to Bubba Phillips, a swing and a miss, and he swung at one that was almost on the ground. Strike 3. There's Nelson Fox, 1 for 3. Nellie Fox stepping into the batter's box with 1 out in the 8th. Here's Fox stepping into the batter's box. And a swing and a tap to second base. Picked up easily by Martin. The peg, he's out, 2 away. Going to bring up George Kell, who is 0 for 3. Well, the famine is still on. Because the top hitters just haven't been able to start to rack that ball there yet. Here's a swing and a ground ball past third. Manoso has a hit today. Dolby had a single. Gopo a single. Lawler 0 for 3. Six hits in all off Whitey Ford. 1 strike on Kell with 2 out in the 8th. And a perfect strike, a fastball that exploded right across the knee. Whitey Ford into the motion again, and the next pitch, a swing and a foul tip. It gets away from Yogi, and George will get another swing. The on-deck hitter, Manoso. Whitey Ford looks down at the Yogi man. Again getting a sign. Here comes the next pitch, and it's too low for a ball. Gets away. The White Sox will open a long homestand at Comiskey Park a week from Tuesday with the Washington Senators. The Washington Senators in a night game. That's the first night game of the year, by the way. After Washington, the Yankees come in for Thursday, a night game Friday and Saturday. And a ball that's low in close. George Kell. Ball 2 and a strike 2 count. 2 out and nobody on in the top half of the 8th inning. Now to wind up in the next pitch. Slow ball. That one's low. Ball 3. The plate umpire, Hank Soar, gets out the broom now to clean the plate. Ball 3 and a strike 2 count for Kell. Into the motion again, and here's the next pitch. Ball 4. He walked it. That is the second base on balls given up by Whitey Ford, and it'll bring up Minoso, who had a hit in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Here's Minoso. Vinny Minoso with a teammate over on first base. 2 away and a ball. It's in just a little bit too close. Ball 1. Ford takes a look around to see that everybody's set out there. They are. And a tap right through the box. A hit to center field by Minoso. His second hit number 7. That ball caught Ford off balance. On the follow-through of his delivery, he was off balance, and the ball shot by him and rolled out into center field. We're going to get a pinch hitter for Rivera. Bob Kennedy is coming up to bat for Rivera. Here's Bob Kennedy coming out. Kennedy has been at bat 11 times and has made 1 hit. Kennedy, a utility outfielder and infielder, in there, and a ball that's low. Ford having just a little bit of control trouble here in the top of the 8th inning. And it all started after 2 outs. He walked Kell. And Minoso got his second hit, a single to center field. The outfield is playing straight away. Here's Ford ready again, and Kennedy slaps a foul ball past third base on the ground. And a ball 1 and a strike 1 count for Bob Kennedy. Batting for Rivera. We'll see left-handers again in the second game. Howie Paulette will go against Coleman. Coleman's only outing this year was a 3.5-inning relief stint against Detroit on May the 2nd, in which he gave up 3 hits and no runs and had 4 strikeouts. Here's a swing and a ground ball to third. Harry steps on third, forces Kell, and it retires the side. There's a ground ball down to Andy Carey, who stepped on third. It's a force out, and it retires the side. So in the inning, the first half of the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men are left on the base. And the score, fans, with Bubba Phillips now going out into right field to play right field. The score is still the New York Yankees 4 and our White Sox nothing. Dalkey has come in now to pitch for the White Sox. Jerry Dalkey, a Memphis right-hander, is making his first appearance of the season and will face the New York Yankees in the last of the 8th inning, with the Yankees leading in this ball game by a score of 4-0. Dalkey getting in some practice throws out there. The first man to come up will be Hank Bauer. Let's get in a station break here. This is the WCFL Chicago White Sox Baseball Network. Here's Hank Bauer, a walk, a home run, and a single. And a strike. Hold up on that, Bauer. I mean Carey. Andy Carey. I was looking at Bauer, who had already come out because the pitcher is up next and the on-deck hitter is already in the circle. Carey steps in, and Carey has been up, this is the 4th time. He has a single and a walk and fly to center field. And a ball 1 and a strike 1 count on Andy Carey. Dalkey, a slim right-hander, throws a twister that's outside at the knee for a ball to make it 2-1. Andy Carey, third baseman of the Yankees, gets all set again. That's too low for a ball. Andy married a movie star, and I see they've either just had a baby or are about to have a baby. A newspaper someplace the other day. Ball 3 and a strike 1 count for Carey. And a strike right over the heart of the plate. 3-2. Keegan came on in the 4th inning. And I'd say looked good here today. There's a swing and a tap out the Fox to his right. Big hop. Peg to first, and it's out. 1 away. That'll bring up Whitey Ford. He walked the first man he pitched to in the 4th, and then a fly ball in the double play. In the 5th inning, he gave up 1 hit, a double. In the 6th inning, Keegan gave up 2 singles. That hand is for Ford. In the 7th inning, 1 hit. He had a real good fastball today and a good curve, and he was right in around that strike zone all the time. I'd say he looked mighty good. Pitch to Ford, strike call right at the waist. Whitey Ford has had 1 hit in 3 tries. And a ball. It's in too low. Gary Dalkey, D-A-H-L-K-E. Goes into his motion again. Here's the next one to Whitey Ford, and a curveball is swung on and hit foul back to the wire. Dalkey picks up the rosin bag and dries his hands. Takes a quick check look around the infield, everybody in place. And the pitch to Ford, a swing and a miss on a good fastball, strike 3. Here's the leadoff man, Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer, stepping into the batter's box at Yankee Stadium with 2 away in the 9th, strike call right around the knee. 2 away in the last of the 8th. The White Sox having one more chance in this ball game, the first half of the ninth. It's to Bauer. Slow ball is grounded to third. A nice stop by Kell. A peg across. He's out to retire the side. So Dalkey looked mighty good out there in that inning. 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. He had quite an assortment out there and just about everything in the book. And at the end of 8 full innings of play in the first game of today's doubleheader, it's still the Yankees 4 and the White Sox nothing. All the boys listening to the ball games back in Chicago. Remember, between games, we'll have an intermission of 16 or 17 minutes of music and scores from the studios. And then back in time, plenty of time for the second game. Here's Larry Doby, a slow ball, and a drive into deep right center field. And Mantl's going to the wall for and grabs for the out. Oh, that ball was tagged to the 407-foot mark on the track in right center field. And Mantle raced back and pulled that ball down. Here's Dropo. That ball was really hit. Here's Walt Dropo, and a swing and a miss. 1 strike. Getting all set again, a fastball that's high and outside, a ball. Ball 1 and a strike 1 count for Dropo. 1 out in the ninth. Whitey Ford has gone all the way. Next pitch to Waller, a swing and a foul tip. 1 and 2. Ashman, Keegan, and Dalkey work for the White Sox in this first game. Ashman, Keegan, and Dalkey work for the White Sox in this first game. Whitey Ford leans forward on his left foot. Dropo singled in the second, walked, and bounced out. Here's a very high infield fly outside of first base. And the first baseman, Skowron, runs around in a circle there. He caught the ball inside the line in fair territory, about 8 feet down from the bag and about 2 feet in fair territory as the wind kind of whipped that ball around. And Moose ran around in a circle. 2 out. 1 more, and this ball game will be over. Here's Sherman Waller. Slow ball. Outside at the waist. Ball 1. Whitey Ford gets ready. Slow ball. Across the knees. Strike 1 and 1. Well, the Sox are due to unload some hits against somebody, and I hope it's Coleman in that second game. Here's the pitch to Lawler. A high fly ball. This one's going into short left center field. Tough chance here for the shortstop, and he dropped the ball. Lawler's going to second base, and I'm sure they'll call that a double. He had a very, very tough chance. Gil Mcdougald raced into left center field, had his back to the infield, stuck his glove out further away from the infield to try to reach the ball, touched it but couldn't hold it, and Batty is going to run for Lawler, who has a double, and for the White Sox, that is hit number 8. Going to bring up the shortstop, Luis Aparicio. Here's Aparicio, and a swing and a ground foul along the third base line. 1 strike. 1 strike. Earl Batty goes out to second base to run for Lawler. Luis Aparicio, who singled in the third, doubled in the fifth, hit into a double play on the seventh on a very hard-hit ball to the left of the shortstop. Louis cuts on one and bounces it foul over the Sox dugout. There's Yogi Berra walking out in front of the plate. Flips that ball back to the mound. 2 strikes on Luis Aparicio. And Whitey Ford sets again. Fastball, swing and a miss. The catcher dropped the ball. He's got to throw him out. This ball game is over. Final score at New York. The Yankees 4 and the White Sox nothing. The Yankees 4 runs, 12 hits, committed 1 error, and had 6, 7, 8, 9 men left. The White Sox, no runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and had 8 men left on the bases. The winner, Ford, now 4 and nothing. The loser, Jack Harshman, now 1 and 1. So that's the story of the first game, and I sure hope we have a lot of better news for you in the second game, fans. It's going to be Paulette against Coleman, and now stay tuned for all the scores.
The games going on this afternoon up to the moment. We have 3 games complete in the American League, all 3 of them, the first game of a doubleheader, and then 1 game in the American League was rained out. That was the doubleheader between Boston and Cleveland, postponed because of rain. Now, in the games that we do have, first of all, the first game of the doubleheader we have on WCFL this afternoon between our White Sox and New York, coming to you from Yankee Stadium. It was a sad story in the first game at Yankee Stadium this afternoon. The Sox going down to defeat by a score of 4-0. And Harshman took the loss for the Sox, and Mr. Whitey Ford went all the way for New York and did a fine job of pitching. He allowed the Sox 8 hits, while White Sox pitching allowed the Yankees 12 hits, and they were close enough together to get them 4 runs. And so, final score of the first game of that doubleheader, the Yankees 4, the White Sox nothing. The other games in the American League, the first game of the doubleheader between Kansas City and Washington. Kansas City took that one by a score of 10-7. And Harrington gets the win for Kansas City. Grobe takes the loss for Washington. It was Kansas City 10 runs on 13 hits with 1 error. Washington 7 runs on 15 hits and 4 errors. Another doubleheader in the American League. The first game is over with. That's the doubleheader between Detroit and Baltimore. And Baltimore came up with 6 runs to Detroit's 2 to take that first game. It was Baltimore 6 runs on 5 hits with 1 error, and Detroit 2 runs on 6 hits with 2 errors. And Moore gets credit for the win. Gromack takes the loss for Detroit. Moore going all the way unassisted.